are listening. Okay, so let us begin with taking our first steps. Ladies and
Natutulog po ako.
gentlemen, this is the basic. Okay, this is the basics. Basic number 1. First impressions matter. Students, first impressions matter. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Remember that. That's why it's called first impression, which is actually quite true, which is why it's always important to start on the right foot. Your appearance. Let me rephrase it. Your physical appearance is the first thing everybody notices about you. Judgmental ba yata, ma'am? Katawa si Sir Rodji. Judgmental ba yata mga Pinoy, ma'am? That's why it matters how you present yourself, how you showcase yourself, how you package yourself to everybody. Nakuha natin. And also, expert says that we can size up a person in just a matter of 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Imagine, in just a short span of time, kung ano-ano nang iniisip ng tao sa'yo. That's why it pays a reality check to always be mindful of how you look. No, that is the basic. Okay, and also, the next point that I would like to emphasize is that you should always wear appropriate clothing for the type of work that you are doing. No? Appropriate clothing. Students, pag nag-start na po tayo magtrabaho, always, no? Wear appropriate clothing for the type of work that you do. Kaya na ito yung mga company na wala sila uniform or naa sila yung mga wash day. No? So always make sure if naka-wash day ta, naka-free uniform ta, ato ang suot, not necessarily naka-coat and tie ta, but at least appropriate for the type of work that you're doing. Kaya basi ikaw, babae, gusto ni may flex ang imuhang sexy body, ni adto kag trabaho, ma'am, naka-see-through ka. Di ba? O ikaw, lalaki, kay gusto ni may flex ang imuhang muscles and abs, ni adto kag trabaho, sir, naka-body fit ka. Di ba? Perfect. Kulang na lang, magunit ka og dumbbell, dumadto ka sa gym. Okay? So, ano impression ng mga co-employees nyo sa inyo? No, it's either na-impress sila, no, or na-impress sila sa kabukian mo. That's reality check. Sa Ilonggo pa, we call it kabukian. So, always be mindful of how you look. Wear appropriate clothing for the type of work that you are doing. And also, sa mga companies na naka-uniform, how we make our uniform proper. Of course, you go to work na ang imong uniform well-pressed. No? Pero bisan diliing nun, ma'am, sir, no, just like sa ako, under siguro sa ako, na ako yung mga more or less 187 subordinates, na adyo'y 2 o 3 na mga employee na mulusot sa trabaho na muragik parador. Kaya nga naman, kunot kay uniform, ma'am. No, kulang na lang, mudagan ang plancha sa ilang mabalay, kaguyok doon siya. Wala tayo kusot mayaman sa workplaces natin. Kaya tsura ta murag kusot pang hampas lupa. So always go to work, no, well-pressed ang uniform, nakalaba, no, that's part of the total impression sa imuha. And then the next point I would like to emphasize is your grooming, along with the proper hygiene. Wala ni sa college, ma'am, kay elementary ni. That's why it's called basic. Okay, what's our basic grooming? Lalaki. Sirs, pag once nagtrabaho ta, our basic grooming, of course, ang ato ang haircut, no, ato ang beard, ato ang mustache, no, that's the basic grooming. Not necessarily clean shave, no, but at least prim and proper, no, and appropriate for the type also of work that you are doing. Kaya basi niadto kag trabaho nimo, sir, no, tagahawak imo ang buhok, kulang na lang magunit ka sa poste sa inyong building na wag tang tanan kay mura kag si Samson. Okay? And also girls. Now, what's our basic grooming, girls? Sa girls naman, ma'am, sir, ma'ams, atong basic grooming, of course, is ang atong hair. Minsan, girls, no, sa mga female nato nga mga employees, feel man ginato mag-hair color, kay feeling nato ka ng guwapa, kaayo ta, bati untag kaanyag pagka ng color datong hair. Okay na siya. As long as corporate look gihapon. No, when we say corporate look, kanang formal looking food. Di kini adto kag trabaho kanang kay feeling mo kanang gwapa, kayo ka color red imong buhok or color yellow imong buhok, ma'am. And also part of our grooming girls, kani pirmi ko gina-emphasize during, brown lang daw, during our new employees orientation. Part of our grooming is ang ato ang makeup. That's the basic grooming nato na girls. No, pero sa karon kay tuhon na ay face mask, salamat ta kay natanggal ang face shield, no, kay dati kulang na aquarium dumaglangoy na kitang tanan. Okay lang na magadto tag trabaho walay makeup. Pero naadyo tay mga girls nga kanang feeling nato no gwapa kayo ta basta kana naka-makeup ta ma'am, walay problema. As long as ang atuang makeup kanang naka-corporate look pud. When we say corporate look kanang light lang. No, kay basi kulba-kulbaan imong kauban, ma'am. Pag piyong nimo, ang imuhang mata murag ikog sa peacock, ma'am. O ikog sa peacock imong mata, ma'am, kay kanang nag-agaw-agaw ang blue ug violet kay na glitters imong eyeshadow. Binli man ang iban sang makeup. No, is that corporate look? I don't think so. You are not working, ma'am. You are clubbing. Kulang na lang ingnan kasi imuhang kauban may duty ta karon sa gabi, ma'am. No, so light lang ang pagka-makeup. No, girls, that's basic. And also ato ang usa na diri blush on. No? Kaya siguro bakul-baan imong kauban, ma'am, paghubo nimo sa imong face mask, kanang mura kag tinampa kay pula-pula imo bagiing. Light lang. Bilinan man nato ang iban sa ato ang makeup. What's the corporate look sa ato ang daw gisagpa katungod sa imong blush on, Ma'am Nor? O what's the corporate look sa ato ang lipstick? Of course, color pink, color red. No? Kay basi pagka nang adto nimo cafeteria, paghubo ng face mask na shock imong mga kauban kay color blue imong lipstick, ma'am, kay idol nimo si Nicki Minaj. No, dili na siya corporate look. Okay? And also part of the impression no sa atua. Are, I would like to give emphasis on this is our hygiene. No, very sad. Naadyo tay mga kauban sa trabaho. Kulba-kulbaan gid ka L kung ikaw to. Nga-reklamo ka sa inyong head. No? Just like as a retail. Dili tanang customer complaints na ma-receive ko sa customer service is all about the items nga baligya namon. A lot of times maka-receive ko og complain, ang gina-complain is empleyado mismo. What's the complaint? Ma'am, inyuhang employee na na-assign dito sa baho kay ilok, ma'am. Baho daw kay ilok. Katong panahon na wala pa face mask mo, ingon pa ang customer. Ma'am, kanang kabuhion ko inyong empleyado baho kay ba. Alang ingnan nimo ang customer, ma'am, judgmental ba? Judgmental ba? Ma'am, sir. No? That's part of our customer service. No? The branding nato. Okay, so we're taking those concerns. Ang pinakasad paani, ma'am, sir, kung inyuhang kauban mismo sa inyuhang workplace ang magreklamo sa inyo, ha? Ana mag-ingon ang inyuhang kauban, ma'am, itok na si L, ma'am B. Si L. Itok si L, ma'am, kaya kanang naa pa siya sa kanto, kahibalo na mi nga naa siya. Grabe gidang baho mo, Sir L. Kaya ara ka pa sa kanto, kahibalo na sila nga paabot ka. Diba? So always be mindful of your hygiene. Kalagot, isuga sa baho, ara ka pa sa kanto, kay balo na sila nga padulong ka. Kulba-kulbaan ka, ma'am. No, it affects the impression sa imuha. And also the last point I would like to emphasize sa atuang impression is always maintain a relaxed and open behavior. Okay? Students natin na graduating, always maintain that aura, no, na relax lang ta, no, and open. Okay? Kay basi kulba-kulbaan ka, nagipamangkot ka lang sa imong head, sa imong manager, nagpalak na ang kalag mo. Kalma lang. Always maintain a relaxed and open behavior. That's part of the first impression. Okay? So, that's our basic number 1. First impressions matter. The second basic, this is basic number 2, courtesy counts. Okay? For a while. Courtesy counts. Mind your language, people. Your point won't come across any better if you use derogatory or obscene language. I would like to read this once again. Your point won't come across any better if you use rude, derogatory, or obscene language. Ma'am, sir, kung sa inyo ang mga balay nagnilupad ang inyong mga kaldero, ang inyong mga baso, pag naa mo sa inyong mga workplaces, avoid uttering foul and rude languages. Okay? Always be courteous. Say it with a smile. Say please. No, thank you and you're welcome. Say excuse me and I'm sorry. And do not forget to use sir and ma'am or use a person's name when you know it. Sa retail, I'm always telling our selling staff, customer lang jud tawon mo dayday sa atoa, mudongdong sa atoa, no? Clients lang jud tawon mo tawag sa atoag ing ana. Pero kita, we always address our customers and even your co-employees, sir and ma'am. Okay? Lisod po pangutanon ko sa imong customer, tagpila ni Dong. Tubagon po ni mo ang customer. Ay, tag 50 lang na ante. Ay, tag 100 lang na angkol. Ante, angkol, relative ka mo nga duha. So, always address your customers, no, your clients, no, even your students, kung naamo sa academe, sir and ma'am. Or use a person's name when you know it. Tawaga sa pangalan. Rog, no? Love, Mon. Okay, Nor. No, tawaga sa ilahang apelyido. Kaya basi kulbaan ang inyong mga kauban, no? Naamo sa inyong workplace, na nawag sa imong kauban, "Uy, yuts, bayot, dali." Yuts, bayot na. No? O inyong tawagan ay, "Uy, buring, dali na buring." Ay, pagka-perfect siya itong mga anay. That is not formal. Okay? And also to our super millennial babies, no? Students, pag once na nagtrabaho na ta, avoid using gay languages. Okay? Always be formal. Never do catcalling. Kaya basi pamangkuton ka sa imong head, "Ma'am, dan na po ito." Ang tubag nimo, "Yeah, ma'am." Hala, "Yeah, ma'am, imong tubag." Rock and roll, ma'am. No, kay naagit ay mga no, kanang kauban sa trabaho minsan sobraan ka judgment. No, that is not formal at all. Okay? And then the next point is saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Now, I hope you remember this well. Ma'am, sir, always filter your words. Again, always choose the right words. Remember that one of the C sa atuang employee onboarding is culture. Pag naata sa atuang mga workplaces, very diverse ang culture. I mean, Ma'am, Ilongga ko, nga taga-Bukid. Sir, ikaw Bisaya ka nga taga-syudad. Alliance ko, Protestant ko. Ikaw, sir, Catholic ka. Ikaw, sir, Islam ka. What I'm trying to say is that we came from a different upbringing, okay? And we have different beliefs. So always filter and choose the right words. Kay basi, no, nakasala imuhang kauban, ma'am. Ingnan nimo. Hala, sir, bugo, alagi nimo, sir. Oy! Giingnan nimo. Na-hurt imong kauban, nagiingnan, ikaw Bisaya ka. Na-hurt imong kauban. Bisan tuod, bisan tinuod. Na-hurt siya. Karon, manumbong na sa inyong head, ma'am. Sakit kaya siya nakastorya, ma'am. Giingnan ko niya bugo ko. O, di ba na-hurt ka, ma'am? Dili na nimo gimin, ma'am, sir. No? Dili na masabtan sa inyong kauban. No? Kaiba-iba taga-upbringing. So always filter and choose the right words. Okay? Our next basic. This is basic number 3. Attitude is everything. Attitude. Okay? It's an all-encompassing term that defines your outlook and your perspective in life. It reflects your inner thoughts and as well as your outward expression. Attitude. Ma'am, sir, pag once na nagtrabaho na mo sa mga students naton dire, or even sa atuang mga naanay work, one of the biggest factor, no, isa sa mga factor nga nung employee magstay sa iyang workplace, it's not because of the stability alone. It's not because of the figures, no, of the salary alone. Isa kada ko nga factor, ma'am, isang inyuhang working environment. Okay? That's why, what I'm trying to say is that always learn how to adjust o paunsa makisama sa imuhang mga trabaho, sa imuhang mga kauban sa inyuhang mga workplaces. Okay? Learn to adjust o makisama. Kaya nga naman, try ma'am adtog trabaho soon, no? Or try adto sa inyuhang ginatrabahuan nga wala kay batasan. Na may batasan pero kana ginaingon nato nga no filter, di makaon sa iro, di ba? Try ma'am atog workplace nyo na ana imuhang attitude. Tan-awon nato kung magdugay ka sa imuhang workplace. Di ka mag-expect nga ang imuhang mga kauban sa trabaho, imuhang head na apoy batasan. Why? That's reality. You will get your own dose of medicine, believe me. Okay? And also, one of the greatest lesson I learned from my life is that there is no market for your emotion. So never advertise your feelings. Just show your attitude. Again, I would like to put emphasis on this. There is no market for your emotion. So never advertise your feelings. Kasi ma'am, sir, once you over-advertise your feelings, your emotions, no, nag-overreact ka, overacting ka, OA ka, you are just making a cheap bargain of yourself, believe me. Okay? No, reality check din na siya ma'am sa corporate. No, that's why no, attitude is just a little thing that makes a big difference. That's why be undeniably good. There is no marketing effort or social media drama to substitute for that. Again, be undeniably good because there is no marketing effort or social media drama to substitute for that. Okay? Always appreciate the good in yourself and in others. Always believe in yourself. Believe you can make a difference. Keep an open mind. Do not label people. And always remember to maintain your positive attitude. Remember, radiate positivity and you will attract positive outcomes. No? Very nindot na topic ang attitude, ma'am. It's also one of the factors nga nang ma-promote ka sa inyong workplaces, sa inyong mga workplace. Okay? And this is the last basic. Basic number 4, doing the right thing, ethical issues. Okay? Got ethics? Ma'am and sir, you can never go wrong when you are doing right. Of course. Now, when we apply this on business ethics, it generally means making decisions that are not based on your own personal needs. What's the basic ethical issues? No, pinaka-common nga ethical issues nato sa atuang workplaces. Number 1, dishonesty. When we say dishonesty, not necessarily nga nanikal ka. No, we have dishonesty in a form of stealing, pilferage. No, maunang common ethical issues nato sa atuang mga workplaces. That's why during our onboarding, I'm always telling no, our newly hired, hulat sa inyong sahod before ninyo no kuhaon na siya. Kay ma'am sir, kung wala na ninyo gipalit o wala na gihatag sa inyo o gikuha ninyo, that is considered as stealing and pilferage. No, and for most companies, that is automatic dismissal. Dili lang dismissal. Blacklisted ka pa sa inyong company. No? So always be honest on your workplaces. No? Soon, sa mga students na magtatrabaho, always be honest even when no one is watching. That is integrity. Okay? Kung masakpan ka, nga nangawat ka, kung i-times 10, times 20 na sa inyong company, kaya na ninyo bayaran. Pero ang kaulaw, ma'am, no? Ang integrity, dili ginanimo mabayaran. No? But so sad, no? Pag-graduate ng college, natay degree, naghihapon ta mga kauban na ing-ana jud. No? That is reality. And also, the next point I would like to emphasize is always be truthful. no, on your products, your services, and your policies sa inyong mga workplaces. Just like as a retail, I'm always telling our selling staff no, to be truthful sa ilahang mga baligya. Okay, mo man ang basic sa amuhang mga baligya. Dapat ita mag-abot sa point na mangatik ta o customer para ka nang makakota. No? Kundi kaya, give customers options and alternatives. Iatag sa laing brand. Okay, kay bas ikaw, no, sobra nimo ka pangatik, ingnon nimo ang customer, ma'am. Nindot kaya niya akong rice cooker, ma'am. Palitan ni siya, ma'am, kaya pwede ni siya makasugba. Makasugba yung rice cooker, ma'am. Ma'am, nindot kaya ni siya, kaya pwede ni siya makaprito. Ha, prito yung rice cooker? Karon ma'am, kung ipalit na sang customer, kaya nagtuo siya, kay confident kayo kang baga, naong ka nag-sell stock sa customer. O pag-abot sa ilang balay, kaya nang mayaman si customer, nag-ano siya, nag-samgyupsal, nag-shabu-shabu, o nangabuto sa ilang mga balay. Nangabuto sila sa ilang balay. Ma'am, sir, you are creating a bigger concern o problem sa inyong company. Even sa supermarket. Basi na ka sa mga perishable, ingon ni mga customer, ingon ng customer, sir, expired naman yung tinapa ni mo sa October 31. Ingnon po ni mga customer, ay ma'am, napa na extension 2 months. 2 months na extension? Expired ng product mo October 31? Yung kaso customer, ay ma'am, kanang November 31 pa na siya ma-expire. Karon, kung gipalit na sa customer, ma'am, sir, kapag abot sa ilang balay, mo to ilang gisudan, kaya kanang mga hampas lupa sila, o nangabula ilang ba. Pagbalik gani sa customer, you are creating a bigger, no, nga pananagutan sa inyong company, nakapa-hospital pa mo sa customer, nakabayad pa mo sa customer og settlement. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is always be truthful. No, dili lang sa inyong mga products but also to your policies o services ninyo sa inyong mga company. Okay? So, to wrap this up, this is our 4 basic. Our basic number 1 is first impressions matter. And then our basic number 2 is courtesy counts. Basic number 3, attitude is everything. And basic number 4, doing the right thing, ethical issues. Okay? So we're down to our last objective, which is developing for a while. To develop an exceptional and performance-oriented employee. Okay? So this is being the best that you can be, the total package. First point, always look for ways to make yourself best. Okay? Always look for ways to make yourself best. Remember that pag once naamo sa inyuhang mga workplaces, no, or pag once nagtrabaho na mo soon, it's not forever. Naingana lang inyuhang posisyon. Nakuha ninyo? Ma'am, sir, pag once na performer ta, maita mag-perform, dili impossible na ma-promote ta, ma-recommend ta, no? Ma-commend ta because of our performance. So always look for ways to make yourself best. I'm not trying to brag, but I hope that you could be inspired na I started as a supervisor. Nag-start yung kong supervisor. And then eventually, because I make this my mantra, no, to always look for ways to make myself best, after how many years, na-promote ko as manager. And then, yesterday I checked, LPT na po ako. I am not trying to brag, but I hope that you could be inspired by the statement, kanipirmi ko gini siya ginaisip high school pa ko, what's more to life? What's more to this? What's more to this position than by being here and now? Nakuha natin. So ma'am, sir, if you can do more, be more. Do not limit yourself. That is the secret to success, students. Okay? So I hope na na-inspire kayo doon. And also, remember, no, that you do not come this far just to come this far. No? Hindi kayo nagtrabaho para magtrabaho lang. And also, sa students, hindi kayo nakagraduate ng college para makagraduate lang. No, always Always remember that. Always take responsibility of your actions. Become the person you want to be. Set goals for yourself. Keep looking forward. Measure your own level of performance. Keep striving. Be a good listener. And do not forget to enjoy each day. Again, you do not come this far just to come this far. And I think that would be all for my presentation and onboarding. And I hope that you get a good hit with our objectives tonight. And for the last time, I would like to read this again and again. Always be at your best. Because, ma'am, sir, what you plant now, you will harvest later on. Sa mga students natin na graduating, I especially revise this material for you, and I hope that you will remember me, no, to always do your best, to always give your 100% in whatever you do. Ma'am, sir, because someday, somehow, when you look back and you are confident enough that you gave your best, no, with what you had, for sure you will suddenly realize how grateful, how thankful you are for how far you have become. No regrets, break a leg. Thank you so much for listening, and I am turning over the floor to our moderator, Seren.
Wow! Thank you so much, Ma'am Love, for the very fun and very realistic lecture on employee onboarding. It is true that a company cannot stop employees from leaving unless they have a plan to make them stay. And that is through the effort of our passive onboarding, which can essentially build a strong foundation to retain potential talents. Wow, grabe ka, Ma'am Love. Amazing. But before we proceed, I would like to remind everyone on the loop tonight that we will send a link of the webinar's evaluation later on our chat box and will serve as the basis for our certificate of participation that will be electronically sent to your registered emails. Okay, so for our second resource speaker, she is a graduate of Notre Dame of the Jangas University with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Marketing Management. She is currently working at the Office of the President, Regional Office, Region 12, as an admin officer. Please help me welcome our second resource speaker, Miss Ray Abiera.
Good evening, everyone. Wait lang po. Share screen ko lang po. So, good evening again, everyone. The topic I will be presenting today is discipline and mental health. So, we all know that happy workers are productive workers. This means that the work rate of employees are greatly affected by the state they're in or the condition of their mental health. So, what is mental health? Mental health refers to a state of well being in which an individual realizes one's own abilities and potentials, copes adequately with the normal stresses of life, displays resilience in the face of extreme life events, works productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a positive contribution to the community. What is mental health condition? Mental health condition refers to a neurological or psychiatric condition characterized by existence of a recognizable, clinically significant disturbance in an individual's cognition, emotional regulation, or behavior that reflects a genetic or acquired dysfunction in the neurological, psychosocial, or developmental process underlying mental functioning. So I know everyone here knows a thing or two about mental health condition, especially now that it is the time of pandemic. But as employees or future employees and employers, we must also know the Mental Health Act or the Republic Act number 11036, otherwise known as the Mental Health Act, which took effect on July 5, 2018. So the scope of the Mental Health Act is a bit big, so we will focus on the DOLAS Department Order number 208, series of 2020 entitled Guidelines for the Implementation of Mental Health Workplace Policies and Programs. So, mental health workplace policy and program includes the following: raising awareness or preventing stigma and discrimination, providing support to workers who are at risk and or with mental health condition to facilitate access to medical health services. Number 2, promote workers' well-being towards healthy and productive lives. Number 3, be jointly prepared by management and workers' representatives and be made an integral part of the company's occupational safety and health policies and programs. So, what are the components and implementation strategies of the mental health workplace policy and program? First is the advocacy, information, and education and training. So, that is what we are doing right now, being informing everyone and training everyone about the Department Order 208. Letter B, promotion and enhancement of workers' well-being to have healthy and productive lives. Letter C, social policy. First is non-discriminatory policies and practices, confidentiality, disclosure, work accommodation, and work arrangement. So, what are the responsibilities of employers? The first responsibility of employers is to develop, implement, monitor, and evaluate mental health workplace policies and programs. Number 2, develop and implement programs with reporting mechanisms to address and prevent problems on bullying such as cyberbullying, mobbing, verbal and sexual and physical harassment, all forms of work-related violence, threats, shaming, alienation, and other forms of discrimination, which may lead to mental health problem and shall not themselves engage in the aforementioned. Number 3, ensure that there are adequate resources to implement and sustain mental health workplace programs. Number 4, ensure that they provide the necessary training to the human resource officers who will develop, implement, and monitor the mental health workplace policies and programs. And lastly, number 5, provide the necessary work accommodation when needed. So, what are the responsibilities of the workers? First is to participate actively in the formulation and effective implementation of the workplace policies and programs on mental health through consultations, policymaking processes, and general assembly in organized and unorganized establishments. Number 2, provide assistance in any form to improve the condition of co-workers who are at risk of developing or with mental health condition and refrain from discriminatory acts against them. Number 3, seek assistance from the company personnel on conditions which may be related to or may result to a mental health condition for their appropriate medical intervention and possible work arrangements or accommodation. Number 4, not themselves engage in bullying such as cyberbullying, verbal, sexual, and physical harassment, or all forms of work-related violence. So the Mental Health Act and the Dole Department Order number 208 were designed to protect and manage the employees with regards to their mental health. That's all. Thank you po.
Moderator.
Alright. Maureen, thank you so much, Maureen. Thank you so much, Maureen, again for a very interesting lecture on discipline and mental health. Indeed, we should start prioritizing our mental health instead of adjusting to toxic spaces. Diba? So again, I would like to remind our attendees that we will send the link of our evaluation on our chat box later and will serve as the basis for our certificate of participation. And we are down to our last resource speaker. He is a graduate of Sultan Kudarat State University with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Accounting Technology. He is currently working as an instructor at Notre Dame of Tacorong College, Senior High School Department. Please help me welcome our last resource speaker, Mr. Rogie Dumaan.
Okay. Am I clear, everyone? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Rene Gortisano, for the introduction. So first of all, I would like to give thanks this opportunity to our professor, Dr. Pelmin. Thank you so much, Prof, for giving us an opportunity to be part of this program. To our participants, especially to my classmates, in MBM program, to the students of the College of Business Administration, Mindanao State University, General Santos City campus, to my senior high school students of Notre Dame of Tacorong College from the Accountancy, Business, and Management strand, and of course, to my working friends. Good evening, everyone. So a while ago, my co-resource speakers in human resource management interventions lectured their webinar. To Mom Lovely Chalar, she gave us inputs about onboarding, and we conclude that it is important to get employees up to speed and productive at much faster pace while ensuring the newly hired employee is happy and satisfied in their new position. To Mom Abiera, she gave us an importance of discipline and mental health in an organization. And it reminded us that mental health in the workplace is an area where the employees should focus more attention to in order to have a better understanding of the challenges that they may face. So, anyways, all of their topics are really important, not only as employee, as well as human beings. Okay, so our subject matter for this evening is about ourselves. I know we already have some self care techniques. Like if I ask you right now, what self care have you engaged in for this day? Is there anything that you did for yourselves? Because most of the time we do things for other people, we do things for our loved ones, for your children, for our colleagues in the workplace. But this time, have we done something for ourselves? And this is a good sign because you are here. We will have time for ourselves. So if we haven't done anything yet for ourselves, this is about time that we pay attention. Okay? So, employees really matter. And I strongly believed that employees are a great contributor in the success of the organization. And through that, we have to be present in managing the organization. And that presence is predicated by our own presence in the moment in our body. Okay, so I want you to stare this screen. It's moving, my dear participants. Okay. So how does it make you feel? Okay. So actually, it's about bring your awareness into the moment, because from moment to moment, feelings come and go. Same with our thoughts. But sometimes it seems or feels like our thoughts are permanent. They are not. Our thoughts come and go. And as our Eckhart Tolle said, we are the infinite sky. And our thoughts and our feelings and our behavior are the clouds. They just come and go. But what happens with the negative thoughts with problems? We allow them to stay and occupy our heads. But for this time, even just for this time, I want you to release them so that we can fully engage in ourselves. Okay, so let's do a mini check in. Am I still in crisis? Are still struggling, surviving, or already thriving, or even excelling? When this whole pandemic started, all of us were in crisis, right? because not everyone was ready for this, and we have never been prepared. So we were in crisis or even struggling. But now that human nature is so adaptive, that after surviving, we transition into thriving. So hopefully, we're already towards thriving or even really excelling. So we have there a different indicators to determine your status right now. If you felt or feel that you are tired, you are now in the struggling stage. If you feel that you are irritable, you are now in the surviving. But if you feel that you are joyful or cheerful, you are now excelling. Again, human nature is so adaptive. Okay. Well, after surviving, we transition into thriving or even excelling. Okay. So those are the indicators to determine your status. Okay, so where do you experience the feeling in the body? Okay, so emotion serves a purpose. Like once we're afraid, it helps us to prepare. If we're angry, it moves us to establish boundaries in our relationships. So this time, where do you feel the tension in your body? Most of the time when we are stressed, okay, that's really normal feelings of an employee. Our tension is in our backs, shoulders, for example. So all you have to do is to simply roll your shoulders back as far as you can and truly desire to release these feelings that are no longer serving you. Again, release these feelings that are no longer serving you. You have earned the right to feel much better. You can also simply bring your shoulders closer to your ears. The physiological actions that you can do is to squeeze your body and inhale, then let go. Okay? So always remember that the language of our body are the pain, soreness, allergies, and extreme emotion. So if you sense this language in your body, it means that you don't care about yourself anymore. 'Di ba? Nararamdaman natin 'yan. Ibig sabihin wala na tayong pakialam sa sarili natin because overwork na tayo masyado as an employee. So, again, it means that you don't care yourself and it is an indication that we need to practice self care. Self care and also self love. If you love yourself, then ibig sabihin, you care also about yourself. So again, our bodies have done an excellent job for us. It is extremely efficient and intelligent. So we need to take care our body because this will serve us to achieve our goals in lives. So again, if you feel the pain, the soreness, the allergy, and the intense emotion in your body, please, my dear participants, practice self-care or self-love. Okay, so what do you do when you first woke up in the morning? Most of us would look at our phones first thing in the morning, possibly to check the time if we still have few minutes before work, but we don't stop there actually. We scroll our social media, read the news, and respond or even go to our to-do list. So we began our day in a stage of doing, forgetting that we are first and foremost human beings. Okay? So make it a habit to begin each day in a positive frame of mind so that we live each day, yet at the time or at the rate we are currently living, it seems as if we are dying every day. Life is a choice. So what are the choices that we are making? And are we pleased with that progress we have made? Otherwise, it's a feedback for us to modify the way we think about things, the way we do things, because our society expects us to have a steady career by the time that we are in 35 years old. As a result, we are compelled to work really hard. So having money allows us to earn a respectable living and live a nice life. But what happens when there is so much effort? Remember that in physics, flow or choosing the path of at least resistance allows us to flow. It's like water. We flow with harmony in this wonderful cosmos because we flow that there is a grace and we just flow in a harmony in this wonderful cosmos because our God is so good, whatever the name you give him, Allah, a transcendent entity, a higher being, an inner being, it's so generous. But what are we picking out of his generosity? So it's all about our choices in lives, okay? And we have here that Daddy knows that we're actually housed the spirit within. We just have to reconnect through our breath. There is so much power in breathing or breath. So inhale, just feel your breath, feel the power of that breath in your body. Breath is so important. It is the life force, but so many of us don't pay attention to it. Most of the time, we just notice that when we experience shortness of breath for perhaps, it's the first thing that we declare also that there is life for newly born infants, for example. And this infant is alive because he or she is breathing. It's also an indication that once this is to live when breath is gone. So for me, it's about coming home for myself, embodying this body, both mind and spirit, both mind and heart, so that I can live in the moment and choose to be joyful regardless of my circumstances. So again, do not forget to breathe because breathing it makes you relax, okay? So I have here a breathing exercise. So it's called a square breathing exercise. Okay, it's actually a 3-minute video, but we will do this in a one cycle. So I have here inhale, then hold, of course, exhale or release that, then hold. Okay, let's do this in a one cycle. Inhale, hold, exhale, release, and hold. Okay? It's a breathing exercise. So it makes yourself so relaxing. Again, kung marami na kayong work dyan, mga employees natin, may co-employees, do not forget to breathe. Okay? Kasi nga, pag nakalimutan natin mag-breathe, of course, mamamatay talaga tayo. What I mean is, you do the breathing exercise because it makes yourself relaxing. Okay? Next, presencing. Okay, so this webinar is an invitation for us to practice being present in the moment because of our real power is here. So today we choose to be more grateful for everything, to be kinder to ourselves and to others, to be happy that we are alive, to be present right here. And now it's about being open to whatever comes about without judging, because according to Mom Love a while ago, that we human beings are judger. Okay, so once we judge, we are putting off other possibilities to take place because we already have this mindset. Okay, so set aside that mindset so that you can still be open to other possibilities. So always practice being present. It's really normal that we are a judger because we are only human beings, but again, set aside that so that we can open the another possibilities of our lives. Then we have here, in a new normal that we are experiencing, we're really challenged. Like you have to take care of your home. You have also students or customers. There is also challenge with the space at home because there are so many distractions, not just within the home distractions and also from the neighborhood. Perhaps we don't have control over those things. But as I said, we have full control over how to respond to situation. So, what are our views about the situation and how do we feel about all these experiences? So, for sure, there are so many challenges that we are facing, but choose the challenges that are worthy. Okay, again, choose the challenges that are worthy. Okay, so how do you view the present situation? Is it a negative sign? Or some of it is also a good sign. Like there are some things that are grateful for us as a result of this pandemic. For one, I love working from home because I save one time. I save on transportation, for example, and I would have more time to sleep. Okay, things like that, and I focus on that because it makes me feel good, and I have all the time in the world, which I had never experienced before. So I have more time to do my self care. But self care is something that you do just because you feel off or something is disrupted. It has to be a uh, lifestyle practice. As I said, it takes really awareness to stick on the practice, because any practice for that matter to become a habit takes time. Okay? So we can rewire our brains by doing things consistently. For how long? It takes 3 weeks to create a pattern in the brain. Okay? And of course, 3 months or for more to create a habit. It's just like learning to ride a bicycle, or learning to write your name. And anything that is beautiful takes time. And we are beautiful. Do you agree that you are beautiful? Me, I'm agree that I am beautiful. Okay? Like the things we continue to recreate ourselves made, the choices that we've made. So, what are we choosing? That we still choose to look at the negative, or now shift our attention to what is positive? Because everything has two sides in this dual world, okay? Where there is polarity, negative or positive, or we can in between. So we need to be in wise in our choices. So I have here an example. The COVID, before we look for the COVID a negative, because a COVID means a catastrophe, omen for bad things to come, vulnerability, insecurity, and disempowerment. But again, we need to be positive always. So we need to look the positive side of the COVID. So the COVID right now, it is already a catalyst for change. Okay, a catalyst for change. Outgrow old ways. So view the positive side, inspire others, and instill hope. And of course, develop and enhance connection. So we need to be always positive. So whatever problems that we are facing, whatever the challenges that we are facing, we need to look for a positive side so that we can be able to motivate ourselves. Okay, so that's the negative and the positive. So I'm gonna share to you the 7 self-care strategies. The number one here is disconnect from technology. I know this is really hard. Kayo, my dear participants, nahihirapan ba kayo mag-disconnect? Ako, I admit it's really hard for me to disconnect from technology, especially now that we are in the 21st century. So our world is now digital, so therefore we should have a technology in our side. So in disconnecting from technology, maybe we need to disconnect ourselves from the social media that we are using always. Okay, because when we are using the social media always, it's already toxic in ourselves. Nawawalan tayo ng time management. For example, this is my based on my experience. I have the TikTok. I actually I never dance, I never do the actions of the TikTok. But kasi nga yung TikTok nakakaaliw, 'di ba? Scroll down mo lang, at least meron ng ano diyan sumasayaw, meron na silang mga hacks na binibigay. So doon ko na observe sa sarili ko every day, every month. When I'm holding my phone, agad-agad ino-open ko yung TikTok ko because nakaka-relax siya. Totoo naman na nakaka-relax. But again, pag always natin siyang ginagamit, it's already a toxic. Kasi nga, nawawala na tayo ng time management. Hindi ko na nagagawa. Hindi ko na, nakakalimutan ko na kung that this day pala gagawin ko yung ganitong task. Pero because of that social media applications, hindi ko na siya nagagawa. So it's all about disconnecting from technology, especially social media apps, because again, if we always choosing using that, it's already toxic. So dapat in moderation lang tayo. Okay? We need to control ourselves. So we have here our students. I know may mga social media apps right now very rampant, not only the social media apps, like mga online games, look at them. There are factors affecting talaga. Maraming mga students ngayon ang naaapektuhan ng mga online games. So, therefore, if you think na nakakasira na siya, disconnect from technology. Okay? Second is meditation. So, when we say meditation, it's all about increasing calmness and physical relaxation. So, if you don't know how to meditate, so seek for an expert. Marami tayo dyan na mga expert na magtuturo sa atin on how to do a proper meditation, because I know mahirap ito siyang gawin. Only expert knows this. Kailangan natin itong gawin so that we can have a proper meditation. And we have also a build social network. So we have here our build social networks. We have the best friends, the family. So those are the social network that we have, then you should always have that. O dapat nandyan siya sa'yo. It's because nakakatulong siya sa'yo. Especially your friends, if you have that problem. Especially your family, di ba? Kapag meron tayong problema, ang hinahanap talaga natin is our family. And of course, take intentional breaks. Avail your leave, my dear employees, my dear co-workers. Avail that, okay? Break a moment. Kailangan natin mag-relax. Pero ako in our organization, hindi ko to siya ina-avail. Kasi nga I need to finish all the tasks na meron ako. Meron kami dito. Kasi nga yung aming break dito, hindi siya convertible into cash. Kung convertible siya, mas maganda sana. Pero may ibang organization na kino-convert siya into cash, no? Okay, very good on that. So, socialize. So, we need to be socialized also, my dear participants, so that we can develop our selves, especially holistically development, so that we can be a good person. Okay? And create end of day rituals. So, we have there our God, whatever the name of your God, Allah or Jesus Christ. So always pray, offer everything to Him because He is the center of all our self, of our plans also. And deep breathing. So yun na yung ginawa natin kanina. We have that deep breathing exercise. It makes ourselves so relaxing. So again, my dear participants, if you think that you are exhausted, if you think na toxic na masyado, always remember the 7 self-care strategies. Disconnect from technology, meditation time, build a solid social network, take intentional breaks, socialize, create end-of-day rituals, and deep breathing. Okay? And lastly, congratulate yourself for doing good. Okay? Give yourself a pat and back. Kahit ikaw lang, kahit feeling mo walang nagko-congratulate sa'yo ng mga kasama mo. But if you think na tama yung ginagawa mo, if you think that you already achieved your goals, congratulate yourself. Give yourself pat in the back. Or in 3 idiots, we have there all is well. Okay? So that's the self-care, good for you and your work. I know there are so many strategies about that, but I just only gave you a very simple. So kung gusto nyo pa, marami dyan sa internet at seek an expert. Para
Mindanao State University School of Graduate School Certificate of Recognition is awarded to, of course, with our first speaker talking about the management intervention on onboarding given this 24th day of November, December 1, 2021, signed by yours truly, Dr. Monsour Pelmin. First certificate is awarded to Ma'am Lovely HLR. Thank you very much, Ma'am Love. Very, very nice.